Eddie finds himself in someone's heaven, the fifth person in heaven. He observes where he is, and at first he only hears shrieks. He realizes the shrieks were children of a nearby river, playing with one another. On a rock near the river there was a young Asian girl with a cinnamon complexion, a flat nose, and dark palm hair. The young girl motions for her to come forward. She then introduces herself to Eddie.
Washing, like our Annas used to. Annas? Mommies.
The kids nearby didn't seem to notice Eddie's presence. For Eddie's entire life, he was surrounded by children. He was never a father himself. Eddie was always working with children at Ruby Pier and had gotten used to the children adoring him, they were always happy to see him. When Eddie would test the rides, he would bring children along with him, and he would make them pipe cleaners, animals that the kids enjoyed.
You were in the Philippines. The shadow, in the hut. Sinipa, and say be safe there. Wait for her. Stay safe. Then big noise, big fire. You burn me, not safe.
He wept and wept until the weeping drained him into a shiver. Then he shook silently, swaying back and forth. At some point his grief slowed down. Eddie felt a tapping on his shoulder. He looked up to see Tala standing behind him, with horrible scars on her once spotless face.
Eddie dragged himself to the river. He took out a stone. His fingers trembled. She raised her charred hand to him. He took it and slowly started scrubbing the stone up her arm. He quickened his scrubbing, revealing the fresh-looking skin. Then he turned the stone and scrubbed the rest of her.
She leaned backward into him. He did the same to her. It was almost like they were cuddling each other about to have a nap in the river. Tala closed her eyes. When she opened her eyes, the whites of her eyes flashed like beacons. The 5 fingers she pushed against his chest were to say, "I'm your fifth person." A warm breeze blew, a tear rolled down Eddie's face. Tala studied it, the way a child studies a bug in the grass.
Yeah. I was sad because I didn't do anything. I accomplished nothing. I wasn't anyone. I wasn't supposed to be there. You were supposed to be there. Where? Ruby Pier? 16 rides? That was my existence? Why? Children. You keep them safe. You make good for me. It's where you're supposed to be. And be maintenance. Tala? The girl at the pier. Do you know what happened to her? Did I pull her out of the way? No pull. Push.
Eddie shivered. His head dropped. So there it was, the end of his story, or so he thought. Tala then said something that made Eddie question what she said.
Push. Push? You push her legs. You keep her safe. But I felt her hand. Not her hand. My hand. I bring you to heaven. Keep you safe.
With that, the river rose quickly, engulfing Eddie's waist, chest, and shoulders. Before he could take another breath, the noise of the children disappeared above him, and he was submerged in a strong but silent current. Eddie that had a grip entwined. Eddie then heard a soft, familiar voice calling to him.
Eddie?